Hey everybody, Hi Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures. Today's miniature of the moment is the Forge Lord Grey Seer from Privateer Press's War Machine line. He belongs to the Khador faction, and he is just one of my favorites from this line. He is a giant powered armor, caustic looking wizard that is just bedazzled and bejeweled with all kinds of accoutrement. He is just a cool looking figure. He's one of those guys that as soon as I saw it, I just knew I had to have it. So, he's supposed to be wearing Man of War armor. And Man of War armor, if you ever follow the Privateer Press War Machine stuff, is the fancy, big, tin can, steam-powered armor that Khador employs along with their big, giant war machines. So here is a regular, generic Khador Man of War shock trooper, so you can get a good sense. This guy is the rustic, board gamey plastic stuff, but he paints up okay. Whereas our Forge Lord Grey Seer here was actually a resin model for the most part. I want to say there's a couple metal bits, primarily his hat and face, and the axe. I know for a fact that the body and the cape were resin. The shoulder pads might have been metal, I'm not sure. But most of those details were all molded on him. I know I'm not the best painter, but at least it's done. I didn't do the greatest job with his beard either, but, you know, it is what it is. It's just a cool dynamic sculpt. There's a lot of details going on this guy. So you can see he's just got all kinds of stuff going on with the axe. I don't know if it's supposed to be one of the Orgoth artifacts or something, because it's not like they don't have those. The Orgoth, where they're supposed to have been the original enslavers and conquerors of the Iron Kingdoms way back when, before the whole story takes place. But I mean, even the cape's got all kinds of little fancy, I get that in focus there, you know, details and filigree going on there, all kinds of interesting looking patterns, runes, and symbols on his armor. Way more fancy than the regular basic shock trooper, you can see. Very simple in relation to this guy. So there's just a lot going on. So just to give you a sense of scale, so yeah, here's our Man of War, basic Man of War. Here is our Forge Lord Grey Seer. And let's see if I can find just a generic. Do I have a generic? I do. Here. I found Commander Harkovich. You can see there's a big size difference there. Harkovich is a warcaster for the same faction, hence his similar looking armor. You might have seen the video on him before. Let's see if I can grab a GW stand-in just to give you a really proper sense of scale, because the War Machine stuff is a little bit larger than Warhammer. So you can see there's a good height difference between Harkovich and our Witch Hunter friend there. So, what could you use him for if you're not going to bother with War Machine? I really haven't played much War Machine in a long time. I was more of a fan of the Circle of Iron, their skirmish rules, but even then I don't get to play as much as I would appreciate. So this dude has been seeing a lot more use as a wizard in games like Cell Swords and Spell Slingers or Song of Blades and Heroes, because we really like the Ganesha game stuff in our house. So that's where he's been seeing his most use. He was an upgraded version of another Greylord model that I ended up selling, so he's stuck in this form for now. I was always a fan of characters getting bigger and better as they progress through a game, and I think that has to do a lot with those old Ral Partha 3 figure sets, you know, in their beginning, middle, and advanced. So I kind of always envisioned it something like this. We have our character starting, you know, in a basic troop, upgrading to fancier armor, and finally just the blinged out super version, which was kind of what I envisioned this being, the end game, ultra super deluxe wizard, because who says wizards can't go into battle and, you know, cleave everything up into pieces. Very cool figure. Very happy with it, despite my so-so paint job. Again, anytime we have guys in ridiculous power armor, I'm all over it. Giant axes and hammers, that's always a plus too. Mages, not so much, but that's just my own personal preference. So if you're ever looking for a powered armored mage that is just going to stomp his way into battle, I mean, hey, you could probably use this guy as some kind of inquisitor if you're really going to get fancy in a game of Warhammer 40,000 or Kill Team or Inquisition or something like that. He probably would work pretty well. So this has been the Forge Lord Grey Seer. I had to think about that for a moment, from Privateer's War Machine line, the Khador faction specifically. Check it out if you're interested. Makes a cool figure. It's been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying see you later. Bye-bye.